letters. Love letters to Kellie.
All right, here we go. Dear Kellie, you are the love expert.
I am.
So I've known this guy for almost a year and a half. And even though we have known each other that long, we have never dated. He did pursue me, but he's not my type, or wasn't my type. But his words and his actions, they reeled me in.
Oh, it's like Tyga.
So fast forward to a year later, he's staying distant, and he says little to nothing to me. And even when I reach out, he will say maybe one or two words. I try to give him space, but I can't help but to miss him, Kellie. And when I try to bring up what's wrong, he assumes that we are trying to argue. I miss the old him. He tells me every time that we're just friends, and that's it. But I can't help but to think about the good times and things that we shared together. Everyone has told me he's no good and to move on. What do I do? I'm so confused. Please help, Marissa.
Everybody's telling you, Marissa, what the answer is here. What do you think? I'm honestly, do you think I can give you some magic script that will convince him to start flirting with you and pursuing you again? There's nothing I can say.
He's wounded. He pursued her and he was hurt.
And that's probably part of the reason, because why'd you stop chasing me? I kind of miss it. It's so annoying at the time, but now I miss it. Now I want it. And that's actually the art of the chase, right?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why, women, young ladies are often encouraged, don't give them all too soon, because men do enjoy that little
Chase.
push and pull, that little, cat and mouse game, that give and take. Because for a lot of guys, if they're not good guys, once they conquer it, then they move on to the next thing. But it's just, this wasn't it. And if he was really interested in you, I wouldn't have to give you a magic thing to say. I wouldn't have to tell you to dress a different way, walk, talk, or do anything different. If he thought you were the one, he would be pursuing you.
Unfortunately, he's just not into you.
He's flat out telling you.
Yeah. He was into you, and then now he's not.
He's flat out
that's okay.
telling you. So you just have to accept it. I missed the boat on that one.
And then maybe
Or maybe
he'll look back around after you give him the cold shoulder.
Or maybe you're just romanticizing it because you just miss being pursued a little bit. And if he did start coming back around, you might suddenly be like, oh, I wasn't interested after all.
Right.
How many times do people break up with someone and you start romanticizing how great it was, so you give it another shot, and then 2 days later you're like, what was I thinking? So it's probably just more about your ego than actually being interested in him. So listen to your friend's advice, and now my advice, and let's just move on.
You got this, Marissa.
Love letters. Love letters to Kellie. Dear Kellie, you are the love expert.
I am.
I need help figuring out what to do. I've been engaged to my fiance since 2010. We are
hold on. Let's do math. That's a long time.
15. Yep, that's 15, y'all. We are high school sweethearts. We split up for a few months a few years ago because he cheated with my friend. When we got back together after this betrayal, he wanted to get married a week after. But I told him no, because we needed to make sure that it would work first. But now when I mention the idea of getting married, he gets mad and shoots it down. We've been together since 2006 and have children. I am stuck and don't know what to do at this point. Marriage is not happening, and it's just so disappointing. That's from Brandy.
Well, he was telling you the marriage stuff because he was panicking and desperate to get you back and to forgive him. And he would have said anything in that moment. I mean, anything.
Yeah.
And, like you
done.
said, you wanted to wait and see if it was for real. And now you see what the real deal is. It doesn't look like it's heading toward marriage because you've made it just so comfortable for him.
Since 2000, if it hasn't happened in 15 years.
And they've been together since 2006?
Yeah.
So
that's
you
20.
forgave him. He
Almost
said what
20.
he needed to do and made you think, but it just depends on how important. Once you make babies with someone, now you're tied to them emotionally, financially,
the rest of your
whatever,
life,
physically, until the children. And people say until they're 18. No, it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
Usually there's, other things that tie you to them. But now how am I supposed to fix it? You hate to use that old adage, you made your bed, now you got to lie in it. But that's kind of the situation you're in. So how far are you going to push it? A lot of women stage surprise weddings. Have you seen those?
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
But sometimes it works out. I've seen,
I don't see this one
where
working
women push the issue and force a guy to get married, because honestly, you're already living like a married couple. If you go march down the aisle, get that piece of paper, your life's going to go back to what it is. It's just going to, you still do the same day-to-day things. It'll just feel a little bit more permanent. So maybe if you could just, it's not like an ultimatum to give him an expectation. Say, this is what I expect to happen. I've given you this. I forgave you. Here we are, have children together. I want our children to see that we are a solid unit moving forward. It not only gives me security in the relationship, it gives our children security. I want to set a good example for our children. So let's make a plan. What's holding us back from getting married? I'm sorry, it's not going to be romantic. Now you got to be practical about it.
Yeah.
So that's the best I can offer you. And then if he just flat out keeps saying you doesn't propose or whatever you need him to do, then you got to make the decision if it's important enough for you to move on. But then you've got a back and forth, kids, family. It's just a disaster.
Kids got to be almost grown by now if they've been together since
2010.
Well, yeah, together since
Engaged since
2006.
2010.
Engaged
That
since
doesn't mean they had their
2010.
children.
That's true.
Say?
That's true.
Yeah,
She didn't say it. No.
I don't know. It's just I wish I did have magic words to make everything happen the way you want it to happen. But when
Abracadabra.
women accept things, and the men are like get real comfortable, and then we're like, well, we want more. Well, you've made it so easy for them to this point. Why they're not motivated to change or do anything different because you made it too easy.
Yeah.
Love letters. Love letters to Kellie.
Dear Kellie, you're the love expert,
I am.
and I need your wisdom. 2 of my close friends recently broke up, and honestly, I feel heartbroken right along with them. I met them as a couple, and we've shared so many great memories. Going out, celebrating life's big and small wins, enjoying dinners, game nights, and just living life to the fullest together. So now I'm throwing a birthday party, and I'm completely torn. Their breakup is still fresh, and I know that they don't want to see each other. One of them recently had a birthday, and I attended, so do I invite her out of fairness? The other came over for a game night just the other day, so do I invite her too? Would it be best to invite them both and let them decide if they're comfortable attending, or do I make the tough call and only invite one? I truly don't know what the right move is here, and I don't want to hurt either of them. Help me, Kellie. I need guidance.
Invite them both. Go to them separately and say, "Look, I love you both. I don't want to have to choose between the two of you. So I'm inviting you both, and y'all can decide for yourselves if you can handle being in the same room together. But I love you both, and I want you both there to celebrate me."
Or flip a coin.
No, don't force somebody to choose sides. We're all grown adults here, hopefully, and we can at least. And if one of them can't handle it, they won't come.
Who's going
But
to
that's
get you the
not on
better
you.
present?
Oh, that's a good question.
They're going to get you a better present. Invite them.
That's funny. I do think the heads up is important, though.
Give them a heads
give
up.
them a
Don't
heads
up.
blindside them.
Yeah.
You let them know. I'm just letting you know I love you both, and thank you for not making me choose between you. I really appreciate that. But I'm inviting you both to my party. So if you don't feel comfortable coming because she's going to be there, I completely understand. No hard feelings. We'll go to a birthday lunch later, just you and me. But invite them both.
And what if they get back together and you're the reason?
There you go.
What if this is
What a
the reunion they
lovely
needed?
thing that would be.
You know, there's always that positivity.
Yeah.
Love letters. Love letters to Kellie. Dear Kellie, you are the love expert.
I am.
This is not the first time I've written to you for advice regarding my marriage, and I appreciate the advice you've given.
Apparently, I didn't fix it. You're writing me back.
This time around, I need advice on how to handle a grocery issue I'm having with my husband.
Oh, good.
Oh.
So
you did fix
just groceries.
Good. I
Okay.
fixed one problem.
You fixed it, and now they've moved on, and now they do groceries
New
together.
problem.
Yes. I do the majority of grocery shopping. My husband eats the vast majority of food.
Shout
We
out.
both work full time, but I am out of the house 10 to 12 hours a day, whereas my husband can come home and snack pretty much whenever during his day, in addition to going home for a full lunch hour, and can leave the house at a leisurely pace in the morning. I work in special education, and I don't even get a lunch break. So even if I pack food, it does go uneaten. I find that I am resenting how I don't even have a chance at 90% of the food that I buy.
Oh.
If my husband goes to the store, which is rare, he buys only what he's going to eat. I've addressed this with him, and he just doesn't get it. He says that he should be able to eat when he's hungry. That's true. It's not his fault that we have different allowances in our days. I have started resenting him helping himself to groceries. I've thought about claiming a drawer of my own stash of food, but I don't know if that's reasonable. It seems like that's non-marital or more of a roommate situation. Do you think that I should just do my best to let this go?
Let it go, girl. Out of all the problems, I mean, I know it's aggravating.
That's what we do. We eat.
But that think whenever you, like, sometimes when I get upset with my husband, like, I'm always the one that has to, do X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Alan.
And then he just politely reminds me of what he does do, and I'm like, you're right. I'm mad about this one little thing.
Yeah.
You know, certain
works.
duties in the household fall. If it's about it doesn't sound like it's about the actual act of shopping. Because at first I was just going to recommend grocery shop online, drive through, pick it up, whatever, so you don't have to go through. That's not the problem. You're mad that he's eating everything. I mean, it's like you have a teenage boy in the house 24/7,
Yeah, right.
basically.
You do. We don't grow up out of
But
that.
I mean, I would think, you know, that's such a, in the big scheme of things,
Small problem.
Yeah.
small problem. So maybe maybe it's a good way to maybe clean up your own diet. Start buying things that are appealing to you, maybe more healthy, and he won't be interested in those things. And he's over there eating the bags of junk while
Right.
you're eating the good stuff. Maybe that's one way.
Get you some carrot
But you
sticks
gotta-
and hummus.
You got to do this like little pros and cons thing with your man. Con, he eats everything. Pro, he's a good, he's a good whatever, father, provider, lover, whatever it is, and see if you can maybe start appreciating what he does do instead of resenting him for eating everything.
The amount of people in KiddNation that deal with this grocery issue is wild.
Well, I mean, I just learn, like my husband will
Really?
go through late night fits where he just, he eats all the chips. He just goes through these
Yeah.
moods. So
shout
I've
out.
learned to go by Costco, get the jumbo size bag of Doritos. It's cheaper that way.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? When he goes through it, he goes through it. And it's like, there are bigger things
There
to
are
be
bigger
upset
things.
about. There are bigger things.
There
so
are.
just put it in perspective. That's the best I can offer you.
Sounds like you have a decent marriage. It's going fine.
It's-
That's
that's
your
the
But
biggest.
only
them
problem,
groceries,
it's
though,
all
JC.
right.
Them
Them
groceries.
groceries.
If you have a relationship issue, we do this on Mondays and Wednesdays here on the show. If you want more advice, that podcast is dropping sometime this morning around 10 a.m. Central. Love Letters to Kellie. And if you want to write her, it's loveletterstokellie.com.